Okay, now we're going to be working on line 3 of the Bible verse from 1 Corinthians 13:13. And for this line, you're going to write hope and love. And it is currently in I can't really get the whole thing to fit where you can see it, so I'll kind of work back and forth. It's currently in the masculine script, but you can do it in the Bermello as well. It might just adjust a little bit. There's a little bit of space on each side, and so you may have less space. And the way that I've been doing these quotes and Bible verses is spacing each line so that it's as centered as possible on the line. And so they're not necessarily all going to have the same, I guess you call them margins. So you can see like there's a space here, but there's not here. They just need to be like spaced out within the line so that it looks good when you're finished. Because if you try to space it out where they all hit the same edges, some of your words are going to be super weirdly big and it'll look weird. So we don't want to do that. Okay, so again, this font is a more simplistic cursive-like font, and we're going to start on the hope side. Okay, so I've sort of put the H the way that they have it on the page. Oh, right. You want to make sure you go onto dafont.com and select the masculine font and then put in hope and love and then select size medium. And then you can be looking at that while I am working on this with you virtually. If you look at the letter H in this font, it just has like a straight cross between the two sides of the H, but I like to kind of do that swooshy thing, so I did that. And then I'm gonna work, and I kind of beefed some of these up a little bit. My O doesn't look exactly like theirs, but again, like I've said before, as long as the O looks the same elsewhere, it doesn't really matter. And when I'm finished, I'll go back through and kind of check stuff, because like I told you earlier, I know Remain needs to be like pushed over a little bit so that Faith can have a little bit more room because it's kind of squished together. But so I'll go back through and check like, oh, that A doesn't really look like the other ones and stuff like that. Okay, so I'm going to work on the E right now and get it cleaned up and thicken out the spots that need to be thicker. Change the shape some if I need to. And it gets a little bit thicker on this edge here and then kind of scoops out. And I have made it a little bit more sharp than it should be, so I gotta clean that up a little bit. And then I'm gonna go on to the A. I've kind of already thickened up the leg area. Now I'm gonna work on this part here. It's thin here, and then it rounds out and gets a lot thicker right there. Now I'm gonna move on to the N, thicken up this area a little bit. It's a little thicker than I had it. And the same with here, gonna thicken that up a little bit. I'm gonna work on the D, I had it all the way up there. I'm gonna lower the top of the highest part of the D because I just made it a little bit too tall. And then fill that in. And again, don't worry about, the fact that you can see all those lines because you're going to go over all of that in pen eventually. And if it really bugs you, you can erase it so that it looks like that. All right, and now I'm going to work on the word love. So I'm going to try to tilt the screen a little bit, or maybe I should save the paper. That's easier. Okay. All right, so I'm just gonna thicken this one out. It's not too hard. Honestly, once you've written the word out, it's not hard to make it thicker. You really don't want to waste the time of trying to make it as thick as you see it when you're looking at the font. And I've noticed like a lot of times students will do that. They'll just immediately start in with like the very first word, trying to like, make the H look exactly like it should, and maybe they've made it like this big and it's like crazy dark, and you know, you really want to lay stuff out first, because you're just saving yourself a lot of time. It's not very fun to rework entire words. Like, that's part of the reason why I haven't done the remain yet, because I did it several times trying to fix it without moving it, but I know I've got to move it, but I'm not really very excited about it. So you just want to kind of try to think those things through before you put all the effort in, because then it just makes it so much worse. You'll be way more frustrated. And I really like the way they make their V. I just think it's pretty, but I'm going to probably soften the top of it a little bit. Theirs is very, very straight across the top, and I just kind of like it to look a little softer. And then I'm going to thicken up the side here. And then I'm going to do my E again. I'm going to kind of reference this one that's right here, so I can try to get it to look as similar to that as possible. Because at the end of the day, if my E's don't look exactly like the font that I'm looking at, but they look like each other, that's all that matters. I don't know if you guys can hear my cat in the background. He has been meowing the entire time I've been making this video, and I don't know what he is upset about. It's kind of funny. I think he just wants to be on YouTube. Anyway, okay, so cleaning up the E a little bit. Need to make it a little wider. And that's kind of the gist. And then again, if you have the Bromello font, you will just use that instead. And same in terms of like just the 3 words. All right, you guys are doing a great job. I know you're working really hard, and I'm really proud of you.